How everybody doing? I'm Chris Drummond from Progressive Action, excuse me. But I need y'all to be patient with me today because there's some things, some subject matters I want to cover. But I put in the heading that we're under siege. As workers, as activists, we're under siege. There's no question about that. And everything they're doing to make this job work harder for us. These folks don't care. But let me read something real quick. A few things to point out what I'm talking about. I read something the other day online, and it said this is a profession where they have to implement better ventilation system and reduce exposure to harmful substances. Let me read that again. Implement better ventilation system and reduce exposure to harmful substances. Now, that could apply to us, but you know what they're talking about? It does apply to us. This was something for coal miners. This is a profession just like us, that folks are deep RTO and stations, folks that are deep underground, hundreds of feet, and they got to deal with the air and the ventilation. But let's go dig a little deeper. A few months ago, NYU did a study on air quality in the subways. It was in January or February. I'm reading. This from New York, NYU School of Medicine. The study was conducted by Terry Gordon, a professor in Department of Medicine at NYU, Langone Health. He's also a professor. He's also a member of NYU Center for the Investigation of Environmental Hazard and Division of Medicine. And it was funded partly by New York, New Jersey Occupational Safety and Health Center. And what he found out that we are inhaling, and I know y'all know we're inhaling dirty particles, y'all know that. But to be specific, these tiny specks are called PM.25. These are small microscopic particles that are 30 times smaller than a string of hair. This is what we're inhaling. And the study said, they did a study on the East Coast, and in our subways. And the study found that MTA had 251 micrograms per cubic meter. Second was DC with 145. Third, Philly evidently has the best subway air. Who knew? But in some places, it was 80 to 130% higher concentration of PM 2.5. Think about that. What we breathing, 80 to 130% higher. And listen, let me tell you the stations. And they found out by the tubes, y'all might have read this, is worse. These was the worst stations, so y'all know. Broadway Lafayette, High Street, the A and the C, 9th Street, the PATH trains, York, the F, Borough Hall, the 4 and the 5, Bowling Green, the 4 and the 5, Fulton Street, the A and the C, Lexington Avenue on the R line, Exton Avenue on the E and the M. Now, if you go there, I do Plaid over there. They got a machine. It's so dirty over there. There's a guy that comes every so often to clean out the filter. It's so simple. You can pull out the plug. And Christopher Street on one line is crazy. And this is what we breathing, just like coal miners. But I actually think, because they're coal miners, I actually think that they watch them, monitor them more than they monitor us. There should be a filter in every station at all times so we know the air quality for us and our passengers. And listen to this. This is Trans's response. This is from Tim Minton, the spokesman. We have conducted previous air quality testing on subway trains and subway trains operating throughout the subway system, and we found no health risks. Spokesman Tim Minton said, "The safety of our customers and employees is always our highest priority." I'll read it again. This is Tim Minton. This is the MTA's position on air quality in the subways. We have conducted previous air quality testing on subway trains operating throughout the system and found no health risks. MTA spokesman Tim Minton said, the safety of our customers and employees is always our highest priority. Yeah, right. What else they gonna say? These are people that refuse. These are folks that refuse to shut down the system during COVID. What else are they gonna say? And I was just doing some research, and they said they were gonna try to implement purifying systems. Look it up, y'all got time. You know who they started with? Metro North and Long Island Railroad. They ain't say a damn thing about MTA and where we at. But that's our air. That's our lungs. That's the air we breathe. That's the things that's killing us. But also, I went to Centers of Disease Control, right? You need a minimum of 30 minutes to eat. 30 minutes. It takes 20 minutes for your body to process what you're eating. And you really need a little more time. We know even when you get 30 minutes, you might have to run outside to get something. You might have to wait for the microwave. You might be online waiting for the microwave because there's 2 or 3 people who heating up their food. Even if you got 2 or 3 at any particular terminal. But the consequences of not eating is poor health, erosive gastritis, excuse my pronunciation, is spelled gas, gastritis. That's inflammation that eats away at the lining of your stomach. And it leads to everything. Stroke. Obesity is responsible. That's why a lot of us are like we are. When you eat fast and you don't chew your food, granulate your food, the consequences is obesity. And the consequences to obesity is high blood pressure. And holding our urine. Kidney stones. Bladder cancer. A stress bladder. Some of our brothers and sisters where it depends. Yeah. Some of us been holding, and when you hold it, like they say, you're supposed to time when you use the bathroom. Everybody has a schedule. I had one. I usually 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning. But the way these trains run, depending on what's going on the end buses at any given time, no one can really control. If you're in tower, you good. Flagging, you good. Some titles, you good. Nobody can control when they really go to the bathroom. A lot of us don't go to the bathroom because a lot of us don't like the conditions. That's another reason our brothers and sisters don't hold their feces. And you holding at some point, a lot of brothers and sisters lose control of it, of their bodies. That's a fact. That's what's going on with us. And let me read something else. Let's read something else. Job stress. This is from the CDC. Please bear with me. I appreciate it. The association between job stress and the onset of progressive cardiovascular disease has been well documented in the medical and psychological community. Persistent job stress significantly increases workers' risk of experiencing stress, incidence of coronary disease, stroke. Many workers present with existing conditions like obesity, diabetes, smoking and drinking behaviors, physical inactivity from chronic stress. Those at risk, acute trigger cardiac events, anger, depressive mood. Let me read some more. I'm almost finished. The health consequences of job stress is a significant burden on the economy. The global cost of job stress is estimated in the range from 221 million to 187 billion. 70 to 90% of the cost due to productivity loss. Cardio disease, stroke, are the leading causes of death in the U.S. and are also job-related. Treatment of type 2 diabetes. Premature mortality. That's us. That's us. We lost 2 brothers this month. That's us. For patients present both type 2 diabetes and cardio disease. Complications increase due to direct correlation to stress. Research shows supportive leadership, which we don't have, can be an important factor in reducing the medical effects of job stress. Leadership support for workers can take many forms, including support for work-life balance. We don't have that. Proper sleep. We don't get that. Employees who view their supervisors and organizations are both as being supportive of family priorities and significantly less work report experiencing. Let me read that again. Employees who view their supervisors and organizations are both as being supportive of family priorities report experiencing significantly less family conflict, greater job satisfaction, increased organizational commitment. Moreover, organizations that prioritize productivity over support for work-life balance are often, perhaps ironically, are met with less productivity, less engaged workforce, a higher likelihood of turnover and absentees. This is why we dying. Now, you got people who work places, a lot of people work in offices where they don't use the bathroom. That's common. A lot of people work with places who don't like their bosses. But they have an HR. We don't have no HR. They have accountability. We don't have accountability. A lot of things go on in different work professions and jobs that people don't like, that people have issue with. We deal with all that. So on top of that, we have sisters in fear of being raped. On top of that, we have brothers here who are willing to defend themselves and defend others, but are scared of being fired. On top of that, we have a job that we go out on comp. They don't want to pay us. They force us to the IME, and we got to come back to work after we have 12/9s, after we're injured on their property, on their equipment. On top of that, we have brothers and sisters who fall in the yard, who might fall down the steps, who might get their hand caught in the door or in the window. And when they go to the doctor and the doctor say you're out to further notice because you need a procedure and therapy, they come to court and call us frauds. All this a coincidence? And you wonder why we dying? Don't dare, I say it again, don't dare say every job has their problems. They don't. They don't. And on top of that, you can put us as a list of the most dangerous jobs in America. On top of that, cops deal with that. FDNY deal with that. Loggers deal with that. Coal miners deal with that fear. When we talk about dangerous jobs and professions, CIA, FBI, NYPD, DEA, tobacco and firearms, and they can protect themselves. Those are hiring jobs. Those are situations where people are at risk. And that's what we deal with on top of abusive supervisors, on top of toxic air, on top of not getting the days off that we need, on top of not getting our comp, on top of not being able to get our procedures we need, on top of inflation, on top of everything else, on top of living in not having the financial resources or having enough to live in this town and not keeping up in inflation and the union that does not fight for us. This is why we dying. This is why we see brothers and sisters we just seen who are retiring and they drop dead as soon as they retire. Or they're sick. Or they got injuries. Or they walk with a lifelong limp. This is what goes on in subways and buses with flaggers. Every position, every title. There's consequences for everybody that work for this company. But you know what's going on here? We got people, and let me add on to that. What I was reading earlier today. First, let's go to our stations. Now, stations, there's no way that you keep this administration's next election. There's no way that you keep anybody that's in this current union leadership. And you know, they got more work. They threw that dollar. They threw that dollar out there like they was getting $150. Like it was a $20, $15 an hour raise. Like there was really something to celebrate, the buck. And they put them out there, left them out there to slaughter. On top of that, they got more responsibility stations. They got to go on the platform now. They got to look for graffiti. Now they even got some of them asking us if you're on platform for your pass numbers. And let me tell you about stations. They got some of the most invective, petty. You think RTO's bad. That's RTO plus tax over there. The way they treat them at stations. I know, I was at 2 Broadway. I didn't sit in the back and don't anybody tell you. I sat with everybody. That's why I could tell you that MOW got some fighters, their reps. I seen what they do. Well, I seen what stations do too. Not much. And them supervisors walk around. They're disgusting, the supervisors in stations. But now they got something else. They got this form. It's called initial observation. And on the form it says select agent observes. And on it also has 2 boxes. It has agent inside booth, agents outside booths. Now they can be written up for something else. Now it's a form that they walk around putting names on who's not in there, who's in the booth at any given time. Who's not? They under more scrutiny for that dollar. This is what their union did for them. Getting them outside. How in the world is getting them outside their booth? Exposing them to every creep and bird. And they was getting assaulted inside the booth. I mean, when they was getting off their tours. Or coming from lunch or whatever, they was getting assaulted. Some of them been pushed around since this initiative. This is what the union did for them. So I know we're upset about that dollar. But that dollar, what they going through, our brothers and stations is going through is hell. What they did. They're under more scrutiny, more stress. Something else to add to the list of things that are putting us in our graves early. Yeah, somebody wrote we all going to die. Yeah, we're all going to die. But we want to live fruitful lives. We want to do 20. Listen, people living to be 100, 90. All the information we have about health and food, the machines they built, the Peloton and all these different machines, all the innovations that they have right now so we can live longer. We want to live. We have a right to live. We have a right to fruitful life. But you know what's going on? Let me read this for subways next. I'll tell you what's going on. This comes from the New York City Transit Department of Subways, Office of Senior President. I think his name is William Amorosa. William Amorosa, whoever, you're fools. You're fools. Why don't y'all sit down and ask the membership what's going on? And what I'm about to read. As an effort to eliminate assaults on employees, one of our programs at Subways, understanding and to identify platform areas adjacent to the conductor's position as no standing, employees only zone. Our first installation is at 125th and Lexington on the 4, 5, and 6 lines. Areas designated below, having the conductor's position demarcated as no standing area, will assist employees in serving these areas as they arrive at the station to provide additional situational awareness. Are you crazy? we get assaulted while we doing our sweeps. Are you crazy that now you're going to have people standing there? These customers ain't stupid. They're demented. And you pick 125 in Lexington? That's like teaching us how to shoot guns and dropping us in Ukraine right now with no training. You put us in the war zone at 125th and Lexington with a station other than 2nd Avenue, a bunch of drug-induced zombies? This where you start. These are people who never did what we did, who have no idea what we do. Them board members for the MTA are rich folks. They make 20 times what we make. They don't relate to us one bit. And Richard Davies, our president, in 5 years he'll be gone. He's not staying here. These people at 2 Broadway wear a stop on their resume. That's what they are. First of all, the customers are going to stand there for sport now that they know they shouldn't be there. We talking about kids. We talking about junkies. We talking about criminals. We talking about angry customers who missed their train already. And they just waiting to spit, smack, verbally abuse a conductor. And you put a spot, you might as well have that's like putting coordinates to a missile to drop on us. These folks is crazy. So we get written up for holding up service because we smart enough to know we ain't sticking our head out that we see somebody standing there. And if you doing platform, you just gonna bring more trouble on yourself, telling somebody that they can't stand there. You gave customers and these deranged folks another reason to argue and fight with us. Now, either y'all care or y'all clueless that what goes on down here. Because you just put conductors at risk. Same thing with them announcements. Yo, look out. Cops have, we got NYBT at this platform. So the next platform, you don't say nothing. Criminal, no, ain't no cops there. He waited the extra stop before he does what he does, commit his criminal act. Or pull up on us, roll up on us and say, you snitch. And spit on us or punch us. How does this make sense? How does you gave the cops more to do? You probably increase assaults. What sense do that make? We can get punched in the face anywhere when we move in our train. Not just the conductor's position. We doing our sweeps. Somebody can run up and punch us, but they know just where to stand. And that's where to get their best shot. These people know nothing about it. And our president, he signed this. He signed this. Richard Davis knows nothing about RTO. And Cannell and Eric tell them nothing because they take orders from them. I'm sorry, RTO, you made a mistake when you voted. You bypassed me when you voted for Canelo Gomez. You was better off with Joe Costales. You was better off with any of the independents. He let this. He giving barbecues and parties, going to Brighton Beach, arguing with members, making a scene of himself. June 6th, when you was down there arguing, acting like a deranged lunatic again, he ain't learned nothing. He's only in power because our president in power. Our president, Richie Davis, know nothing about subways and RTO. And nobody's speaking up and advocating for us. Well, and we're dying. These are the conditions that we work with a union that don't give a damn. With management that constantly, they don't find ways to enrich our lives. They find ways to hurt us. They play sport. They just play games with us. Throw things against the wall, see what stick. They don't care. And our brothers and sisters in buses, they shooting in buses. Just like they got air marshals, they should have cops on these buses. Has anybody ever got arrested on these buses? We need undercovers on these buses. We need squad cars constantly following these buses. They're busting guns on this bus. It's just a matter of time before one of our brothers and sisters on these buses get shot and killed. It's inching towards that way. And that's the stress they living with every day. And the fruits they incur. This is what our brothers and buses and subways, this is what we live with every day and die for. That's what we're dying for. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm lying. Anybody tell me I'm lying. There's a litany, a list of things we going through, the hell we go through every day. And underpaid. And underworked. And disrespected. And before I leave, I said we was an activist. They trying to get Tremel, Evangeline go down in a few days, I heard, the 2 Broadway. So they trying to get rid of all the fighters. And let me say this to all the activists. The activists don't usually get along. We never get along. But since this happened with Tremel, when you see Seth on Tremel's show and Tremel with Ferretti, Evangeline, all this, everybody coming together to do the right thing and fight what's wrong, that's a great thing for us. Now we need all of you to step up now. It's for your health. It's for your health, for your life. They don't care if you die. They don't care if you assault. They don't care if you maim. They don't care if you hurt. They don't care if you need an operation. They don't care if they shoot up your bus. That's a fact. And Richie Davis has subways. We can vote him out. That whole clique, we can vote out. We got to come together and vote. We can vote them out. And our brothers and sisters and buses who don't like what's going on, come on. Come on. I know how they treating y'all over there. Come on. Richie Davis has to go. He's incompetent. He's a thug. So is Canella. They 2 sides of the same coin. So I got disciplined at 2 Broadway. And let me say this. I'm never going on platform risking my life. I'll be your Huckleberry. I'm never doing that. I love my family. I love myself. I'm never going on the platform. And we got to fight. It got to be to a point, no matter if Tremel's gone, if I'm gone, there's somebody to step up. We got to step up. This is our life. What are you waiting for? How many excuses are you making for yourself to say that this job ain't that bad? And we see death all around us. We see disrespect all around us. We see attempts at intimidations all around us. We have to. This is what brotherhoods mean. We got to fight. And we want our kids to come here. We got to make a place. We got to make it suitable for our kids to come here. Look at what's going around. Look. F drumming. Look. Don't ignore it. Look. But we can stop them. Transit, I want to see transit humiliated. I want to see them on 60 Minutes. I want to see them on the news. I want to see them NPR, CNN, Fox. Executives carrying out boxes because you've been exposed of how you treat your employees. The nepotism that goes on. The complete disregard for our lives and our well-being. With no accountability for abusive supervisors. This place is an utter joke. But the joke is going to be on you, Transit. The truth will always come to light. Always. And the union, your days is coming. We can vote them out. Let this be the time. Let this be the moment, a seminal moment that we decide that we're going to come together and vote everybody. We're not going to leave our vote, vote sheet, excuse me. The tablets, excuse me. We're not going to leave the ballots. I'm sorry. We're not going to leave the ballots on the kitchen table this time. We're going to mail them in. We're going to call and make sure we pay our dues this time. We're going to demand that it's a democracy and they do the right thing. Everybody be safe and take care.